first manifestation, Mr. Chairman, is to support the earlier manifestation of Congressman Rodriguez with regard to the augmentation of the budget of the Department of Justice, especially the implementation of Republic Act 10-0071, which is the upgrading of the salary of prosecutors. And it is the position of this representation that at least a 200 million peso augmentation should be allocated. And I think this kind of an amount can be easily realigned, considering the size of the overall budget. So I'd like to make this very strong manifestation, Mr. Chairman. Now my next manifestation, my next question is with regard to the inmates of the Department of Justice. Previous speakers have talked about the inmates of the Department of Justice. Madam Secretary, Mr. Chairman, one of your predecessors was branded, and I used a term that was used by other sectors as an attack dog, quote unquote. In fact, if you Google the term attack dog and Secretary of Justice Philippines, you will have about 100,000 entries in Google. That is how popular that term has become. May I quote Mr. Chairman, one description that came out in a column. I quote, "He was the most partisan Secretary of Justice. He was the first Secretary of Justice who I knew allowed himself to serve as the attack dog of Malacanang. I have not seen a Secretary of Justice who acted as an attack dog of Malacanang except Secretary, etc., etc." May I know may I have your comments on this, Madam Secretary, and whether you are going to also allow yourself to serve as an attack dog?
If you expect me to be one like that, I cannot be like that, and I will never be like that. Even President Noy himself said when he first talked to me, I remember June 22, when he summoned me to Times Street, to his residence in Times Street. He did say, "I do not expect you to be an attack dog just like him." And then we know who we're referring to here. So I cannot be an attack dog. I will display or exhibit my loyalty to my president, and when it comes to promotion of the rule of law and doing what is right and best for the country. But I can never go beyond that, and I cannot defend totally indefensible positions of government. Thank you.
Thank you, that's very reassuring. Now, again, there was some mention of civil liberties, disclosure of report without delay. I was looking at the mandates of the department, and I read that it is the executive department of the Philippine government responsible for upholding the rule of law, quote unquote. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That seems to be a very all-encompassing mandate, which would affect all kinds of offenses, misdemeanors, etc., crimes. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, because we are the premier prosecutorial arm of government, and we are tasked to go after offenders and violators, especially of the rights for criminal offenses.
Now, talking of civil liberties, and I'm talking of possible violation of civil liberties that happened in the airport, similar to what was mentioned earlier. In the case of June Lozada, may I know whether the DOJ is going to find closure, help find closure in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, through the Truth Commission, the DOJ will be assisting in terms of putting closure to those cases, including the NBN ZTE deal. And for your information, Your Honor, June Lozada in fact applied for witness protection, and we had recently approved it after they submitted the necessary requirements, because the nuns who are protecting him are already encountering problems resource-wise in continuing or maintaining security or protection for June Lozada. So they decided to approach us, and recently we approved the application for witness protection of June Lazada, precisely in anticipation of the proceedings before the Truth Commission.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. It is again very reassuring because I think that is even a much bigger case than some other cases mentioned earlier. Now, another case of report. Again, I share the concern of some sectors here that reports should be disclosed without delay. Of course, we're talking of the delay in the disclosure of the Lima report, 2 to 3 days. But there is one report that has been begging for disclosure for more than 2 years already, and this is the Mayuga report. Is that something that the DOJ will also be looking into as part of your mandate to uphold the rule of law?
Yes, Your Honor, if need be, and in
It's been
fact,
delayed for not 2 days, but 2 years.
yes, Your Honor, I think that is also part of the Truth Commission investigation, the Mayuga report. The Truth Commission, I believe, would be asking for the production of the Mayuga report. It's time to also disclose that report. We cannot understand why such a report has been withheld all this time, all these years. So again, since DOJ is expected to assist the Truth Commission in its mandate, that is something that we will look into.
Well, again, that's very reassuring because I think while some quarters are concerned about a 2 to 3 day delay in the Lima report, I think we should be more concerned about something that really affects governance, and this is the Mayuga report.
Yes, excuse me, Your Honor, I'd rather that the report be labeled as the IIRC report and not the Lima report. I'm just the chair, and it's a committee.
Well, that's how it goes when history is written. Now, on another matter, and this is with regard to the conduct of your predecessors. One of your predecessors, and I'd like to name him, Secretary Azera, cleared some members of the Ampatuan family with respect to the massacre that happened in Maguindanao. Has there been closure already on that? Is that something that will just be forgotten? Or is the department going to look into that on why there was that very bizarre statement that came from the Secretary of Justice?
Your Honor, that former Acting Secretary Al-Agra had in fact reversed himself and corrected himself by sustaining the indictment of former ARM Regional Governor Zaldi Ampatuan and another one. So I think there is now an appeal or a petition for the Court of Appeals filed with the lawyers of Zaldi Ampatuan et al. Now, as to your question as to whether or not